Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be working on this Mercedes is a GL450 on replacing the rack and pinion. So I'll take you through the step-by-step procedure right from the process of removing it, and then I'll give you pointers on how to put it back, and then you should be good to go. Alright, let's do it. So first things first, you come right over here and then you pop up the hood. Once you're here, we have some kind of like you just level off there, and then our hood is going to come all the way up, and then we have our engine area. So we're going to work minimally on this section, so particularly around this area. So you take out this kind of air duct, and we can do the rest of the business from below, and then it should be easy to do it from below. So once that is done, we go below the car, so you have to lift the car up. So the reason why we're doing our rack and pinion is, you guys can see right over here we have a leak, and if you go right on top right there, we have a leak coming from our rack and pinion. So today we're going to replace this guy right over here. So it's going to be over here and all the way out. So this guy has to come out. I know most people say, oh, sometimes you can do without it, but you cannot. With this space right here, we have really small space. So we're gonna open this thing right here, we're gonna open this right here, and then we're gonna open this right here. So our axles are going to come out. So this axle is coming out, so definitely our tire is going to come out. Same as this side, this tire is going to come out, our axle is going to come out too. I'm going to release this from right here, and then we're going to open that one right there, over there on top. Same as this side too, over there, so this thing can be yanked on the side, and then gives access to remove the axle. Next, we're going to remove this right here, guys. You see here, right here, you're going to remove this, and then sometimes I prefer removing the whole thing, so it gives us enough space when we're just trying to play around with this guy right over here. So once that is done, and then we have something we can do either from right over here. I don't know you guys can see it. There's that connection right over there. I don't know you guys can see it right on top there. So you can either do it from below if you have space from below right here. And you guys can see it's not enough space from here. But once this thing comes out of the way, you can do it from below. Pinion or the rack and pinion from right there going to steering rack. We remove that one, we disconnect this thing, and this thing should be able to come out without a problem. Another thing we have to remove this right here is going to be a E14 or E12. It's going to be right over here. I don't know if you guys can zoom it all in. So you're going to remove that one out, and then you get these two hoses out. So also make sure you have something to catch the fluid, because there's going to be like some fluid coming from right over there. And then once that is done, we can just yank it or just take it from one side. We take it all the way out. Alright, that's a brief view. Alright, let's begin work. So once here, we remove our tire. So you get a 17mm. We remove all these out. Once that is done, we take our tire out. Alright, once that is done, now we can proceed with inside. So we do the same on the other side. So you can start right here. We take out the tire, we take it out. So once this is done, you just take it out like that. Alright. Alright, next you have to remove this right here. There's a bolt right over here. And once that is done, you have to take out this axle bolt, and then we have to take out this one right on top over here, and then we just get our axle out from right over there. So we do the same from this other side. So you take this out, and then you take this one out. It's right over here. Take that out, you take the center one out, and then that should be good to go. This thing comes forward, and then you just get out our axle. Then once that is done, we can proceed from below, and then we do our next stuff. So you take an impact gun, and then you take a 36mm, and then this is what you're gonna break this from. So this one comes out like that, and then you use a strong center punch to hit this thing to go back, so it just becomes loose. So we do for the other side. So I have to mention something. You really need kind of like impact gun, because this thing sometimes it's really tough to come out. So once you have it, it should be easy to come out. So you get something like this. You hit it right over here. You use a hammer. You hit it all the way to make this thing loose to come out from all right inside there. You just hit it a little bit. Once that is done, this thing should be able to just move freely. So once you get this thing well, this thing should be able to play like this. So you should be good to go. You can proceed to remove this right here, and then remove this right over here. And also you need to release this stuff right over here so that it doesn't stretch this thing and this thing comes forward. So you just come right over here, you pop this thing like that, and then you just get out of right there and come out like that. And then we have this harness right over here. You can just take it like that and you come down right over there. You just take it like that. Just come right over here, and now you guys can see, I think somebody tied it up. And somebody tied it up right over here, so I'll leave that. And then next we have just released this thing so that it just stays on the back when this thing comes forward. So you look for like a dice, so you just get one like that, and then you just snap like that. You just let this thing rest forward like that, let it sit like that, and then once this thing comes, this thing should be free. Thing doesn't need to be stretching. So we do the same for the other side, and then we proceed. We use our like 21mm. We just take this one out, and then we take this one out too, and then our rack and pinion too, we have to open this too, because you're going to be working on that area. And then next we take this up from right here, and then this thing should be good to go. All right, so we're having today is a Detroit axle. This is the one, this is a rack and pinion, we got it from there. So this is the one we're going to put inside the car. So once you have your new one, you'll be ready, and then you should be good to go. So we get a 21mm. We come to a rack and pinion right over here. So this thing comes like that. So once that is done, you can just put it temporarily over here, and just put it over here temporarily, so that when you release it later on, this thing should just come without a problem. Once that is done, take out 22mm. We open right over here. So this one out, we come out like that. So we just take it out. So I put this thing temporarily so that when we just release it from here, this thing should not just budge out like that. It should give us some leverage so that we hit this thing all the way out. Then we get this thing out too, and then we should be good to go. So I know there are several methods of releasing this thing right here. So for me, I use a hammer. So you just hit right over here, just hit it gently, this thing will just pop out. Same as this side, I just hit on this side, and then this thing finally is out. So you can just release it completely like that. You can let this thing come out like that. And then if you don't want to let this bolt go somewhere, you just let it sit on there, same as this side. So you can release this thing right over here. So you let this thing come out like that, and then also be careful over here. Use your center punch, hit this thing, let it come all the way from out here, and then you can proceed with removing down right over here. So once that's done, make sure this thing is out all the way like this, and also make sure your wirings are just, these cables are free, they're not stretched. Then you can remove this one right over here. All right, let's proceed. You take a 24mm, you put on this side, and then this side you just take this one out. once that is done, you just take out this ball, put it on the side. So you just take this thing right here, make sure it comes out from right over here, and then you can release it. You just hit that thing to come out from right over here. You just go down, you hit it up, this thing comes out, we just pull it out. So you can below the car, and then you see this is where our axle is. It comes all the way here. So you take a primer, you hit it right from right here. You just hit it gently. This thing is just going to pop out, and once it pops out, you can take it out. And then we can do like everything we did on this side, on this other side. We just take everything the same thing, so that we can get access to the rack and pinion. Alright, let's proceed. Let's pop this thing out. So you hit that thing like that, and then this thing is going to come out from all this other side. It's going to come out like that, so we can take it out from this side. We get it out of the way. Alright, so you just come like that, you just take this out like this. So our rack and pinion is just right over there. So make sure it doesn't come from this side, make sure it comes from this other side, so the thing just comes free like that, and then it should be out. So this thing we did on this side, we just did on the other side, and then we have our rack and pinion right here. You can access this Torx E14 from right here, and then we can proceed from there. Alright, so we do everything we did on this side, we did on the other side, because the procedure is just the same, there's nothing different. So once it's done, you just pull it like that. It's a bit longer, so you just stretch it like that, let it come all the way, and you guys can see from there. Alright, so this is front differential now is free from the axles, so we remove this right here, and this right here, and this right here. And but before we do that, we come right here, we take our Torx, I think it's 45 or 50. We remove this thing, we just get it out, and then we should be good to go from here. Another important thing, make sure when you're doing this, make sure this thing is turning freely, so that once you start working on it, it doesn't bring problems later on, like it gets stuck and then you have to go up the car. So make sure this thing goes freely. You can either put it on neutral, or you just mine is just moving like that. I can just go ahead and open it up, and then I can proceed from there. So this one which opens here is going to be a Torx 55. So you just get a Torx 55 right there and get it all the way, and then you can proceed to open all these bolts. Is 6 in number. This one right there. Still right over there. Just take it like that. Let it come out like this. You just put them together, and then you just turn this thing like that. Let it just come like this, and then you can proceed with this right over here. All right. So this one comes out like this, it's the last one, and then we can just pry this thing away. And this thing is away from right over here, it's disconnected. You can let it sit there. You open this right here, and here, and here. Right, let's go ahead. So you get your 18mm, you come right over here. Come right over here too. then you come right over here, and this right here is not 18, this is 16 millimeter. So you take this 18 right here and 18, and then 16 right over here. Alright, so we have another right here, 16. So you hold it with something right over here as you open this other side. And you come over that, and then you just pull this thing out from here, and then you just take this two. Alright, so the thing not fall all the way down. Just make sure you just have somebody, so you just hold together as you let this thing come down. So it's really tough. Just take your time, balance with it, let it come out. When it comes out, it gives us access to up there, and just like that, this thing just comes out. So the trick of getting this thing, you guys can see right here. So the trick is once this thing comes down like this, you push it forward, you let this thing go backward right over here. When it goes back like that, this thing is going to come down like this. So be careful, let somebody hold it for you. So what you do, you hit the right behind there, and then this thing is going to pop up from right here, and then it's going to come down. So make sure somebody's holding down for you. Once that is done, we have now access to a rack and pinion. You can just open all this stuff. So you can see right over there, we have the other bolt which I was talking about. Then once that's done, you can also have that access to that bolt right over there. You see right here, we can open it. You see right there, you open it, that's like a Torx 40. And then we open this too, this right here and here. And put in mind that right back here we have a bolt, and then right here we have a bolt. It is like 16 millimeters. So you hold the 16 with something, and then you hold the 16 with something as you open this right here. So another important thing, you remove this one first, the top ones, and then the second ones here is holding this bracket right here. This should be the last, so that this rack and pinion comes out. So to begin, first of all, we just remove this Torx 40 right here, and then next we come right here, we remove this right over here. Is a 14, is a Torx 14. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right over there. I don't know if I can point it up, down right there. Remove that. Some fluid is going to come out, so have something here to hold some coolant. Some fluid, it's power steering fluid, and then we should be good to go. Alright, let's begin with that one right on top right over there. So you just come right over here, you put your hand right over like there. I don't know if you guys can see. You take your 40. There's a Torx 40, you put right here, then you open it, you just look for it. So you take your flood. So you take this thing like that, then it eventually comes out. So this is going to be for a rack, and this is the steering rack. You just take it out, and then you look for something, and then you hit it to go up like that, and then make sure you remember the alignment. So you hit it with something, you just disconnect the top one, and then you come here, and then you remove this one here, which is a Torx, which is E12 or E14 right here, and then it should be good to go. Alright, this thing is out of the way right there, so we remove this. Take Torx 12, remove this right here. So E12, you remove this thing right here, right over here. Alright. So right here, it comes out like that, and then you can this thing right here. So finally I removed the rack and pinion. So guys, I could not use my both hands and then use the camera, so let me walk you through how this thing comes out. So first thing first, you remove this plate right here. So you start by 16mm, the one I pointed out earlier on. You remove them first, and then you remove this E12, and then once that is done, rack and pinion will become loose, and then we'll have to pull it from this driver side. You just bend it a little bit, just keep bending it, and then this thing should be able to just come out. Alright, so what happens next is after you do that, you just push, if somebody is there, he could help you out when you're just bending this thing right here, because there's a tricky part up here which goes up to the steering. So that's the tricky part. You just keep bending it like lower, you just play around with it, and that thing should be able to come out. And as I mentioned earlier on, you see right there, those are the 16mm which you have to open. You open one from this side, and then you hold it the other one from the other side with something, and then this thing should be able to come out without a problem. Alright, and then next once this procedure is when the whole thing is out, so something I will point later on, make sure that you count the threads when you're replacing the rack and pinion with the new one. Make sure you count all the threads well before you put back the tie rod ends, so that they just align well. And then lastly, before you put back your steering lines, make sure the seals are good. So mine here, I'm trying to check and have a look at them. It don't look really that good, so that means I have to replace them. So these are the lines which I'm talking about, the seals right here. So make sure you get them a new one, so that this lines is not going to leak again. So it's going to be like sealed, and then it's just going to sit inside there, and then it can prevent any future leaks on this rack and pinion. Alright, lastly, make sure when you're putting back the propeller shaft which goes from the differential to the transmission, make sure you align them all well before you do that. And last but not least, make sure you top up your power steering fluid, because we lost some from down below there. So make sure you top it up all the way. Once that is done, you should be good to go. Alright, so last part, after you finish the installation, and then we have this thing called ABS right over there. So normally what you do, you take your car for alignment. So you see our steering angle sensor is way off. So as the last stage, please take your car for alignment so that they align it, and then so that you don't mess your steering angle sensor. So you have to do that. But before you do that, let me just show you guys something else which you should perform before you do all the other stuff. Number one is normally when you take the old one out, you count the threads on this tie rod, this rack and pinion. You count on the passenger side. You see, right, mine came right over here. You count the threads, and then you put this one. So the one you install inside, make sure the thread is almost the same. You do the same thing on the right side, on the left side. Make sure everything is aligned. Once that is done, and then you can take your car for alignment, because at least your car will be close to range, so you don't mess your steering angle sensor. Alright, I hope really that helps you guys as you do your process, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.